Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. In today's video, I'll be talking about Paris Saint-Germain's transfer window and how possibly me trying to predict and guess how the transfer window will be looking so far and how Paris Saint-Germain will be lining up for next season. Goalkeeper, Paris Saint-Germain is obviously not looking for a goalkeeper after the signing of Matviev Safanov. Center-back position, obviously Lenioro has pretty much rejected Paris Saint-Germain and he wants Real Madrid only. So now Paris Saint-Germain have to be looking for other players. Obviously, there was a list previously. The names have been Tapsoba, De Ligt recently, Antonio Silva, Ibrahima Konate, and Dayot Upamecano. If I have to pick one, I think PSG will get. It's got to be one of the French boys. Both Konate and Upamecano wouldn't cost too much. Antonio Silva, Benfica still asking for around 100 to 90 million euros. Tapsoba, but Leverkusen once again pointing at his release clause, and I don't see Paris Saint-Germain going for a De Ligt realistically. So the centre-back PSG will sign. It's either Upamecano or Konate, I'm feeling, and I'm going to say Dayot Upamecano. Fullbacks. When it comes to the fullback position, Paris Saint-Germain are obviously strictly looking for backups to Nuno Mendes and Achraf Hakimi, with them being two of the best fullbacks in the world. And the names that we're looking for in the left back spot is Guilherme from Atlético Mineiro in the Brazilian league. He's the best left back in that league, 27 years of age. So in his prime, he can come play great football so Nuno Mendes can get some rest. And when it comes to the right back spot, Paris Saint-Germain obviously extremely linked with Gert Ruiz, the Dutch right back that can also play as a centre-back, currently playing at Feyenoord. So I think those will be Paris Saint-Germain's backup fullback signings this summer transfer window. Midfielders. When it comes to the midfield spot, there have been so many names Paris Saint-Germain have been linked with, like the Kimmich, the De Jongs, the Bernardo Silvas. There's been so many names, but the actual concrete names, it's three, pretty much four. So it's either João Neves and Bruno Guimaraes, but it's looking like it's going to be João Neves because he's one of the biggest priorities for both Luis Campos and Luis Enrique in the summer transfer window. So I think he will be the first midfield signing, along with Desiree Doué. Recent reports that just dropped were not that positive for Paris Saint-Germain, but if we can start accelerating that file, Desiree Doué will end up being a Paris Saint-Germain player. And the wild card that I could see PSG signing is Bernardo Silva, who can play both as a backup right winger and can play in the midfield. And that way PSG won't be forced looking for a backup right winger with Turkey going to Dortmund. So Bernardo Silva, Desiree Doué, and João Neves are the midfield signings. Wingers. When it comes to winger positions, Kvaratskhelia is obviously the main objective for the length wing spot. There are some backups if we do not get Kvara, like a Heung-min Son and Nico Williams, but I'm very sure and confident that we will get Kvaratskhelia over the line before this transfer window ends. Obviously, De Laurentiis and Antonio Conte and Napoli have been doing every possible thing to stall the negotiations, but at the end, I think a move and a negotiation and an agreement between the two clubs will be found. When it comes to the backup for an Ousmane Dembele, obviously Turkey is looking like he will be going to Borussia Dortmund, so Paris Saint-Germain will be having to looking at other names, and I think the name that could be joining Paris Saint-Germain is the youngster Magnus Achlios from AS Monaco. He should be the backup for our winger, so him and Kvaratskhelia as our winger signings. Striker. When it comes to the striker position, Paris Saint-Germain's main target is Julian Alvarez, but if we cannot get him, it will be Marcus Rashford. Julian Alvarez obviously maybe potentially could be wanting to leave City, but it all depends on if City wants to let him go, with him having a long contract at the club and them wanting to keep him for as much as possible. And the other one is obviously Marcus Rashford. United are looking to listen to offers, and Rashford might be interested to join the Parisian Giants. So those two are the possible striker candidates. I will still put Alvarez in the lineups, and here's the lineups. So the first main lineup when everybody's fit and healthy: Donnarumma in goal, Lucas Hernandez, Marquinhos, Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, Vitinha, Warren, Kangili, Kvaratskhelia, Alvarez, and Ousmane Dembele. Obviously, Doué will be competing with that Kangili spot. And here's the backup 11 with Safonov, Upamecano, Beraldo, Guilherme, Gert Ruiz in the defense, Neves, Moscardo, Doué in midfield, and Barcola, Gonçalo, Achlios up in attack. Obviously, the starting lineup and the rotation lineup, there can be some changes in between them. Like Neves could potentially be a starter, Moscardo could potentially be a starter, Upamecano could potentially be a starter, Desiree Doué could potentially be a starter, Barcola could potentially be a starter. But though these two teams, these 22 players, I think, will be the main players for Paris Saint-Germain in next upcoming season. Let me know in the comments down below, what other players would you like Paris Saint-Germain to potentially sign in the summer transfer window? And which of these players do you guys want to have at PSG and do not have a want at PSG? That's been it from your boy PSG. I'll try my best to keep you guys updated whilst I'm here in Paris. And that's been it from your boy PSG. And as usual, allez Paris.